Hey guys, this is White Dog 1 with another video. In this video, I want to show why it's important to make sure that you complete your development before you develop your queen. And so to show this theme, I'm going to talk about a game between Mikhail Botvinnik and Rudolf Spielmann played in Moscow in 1935. White started with c4, the English opening, c6, Caro-Kann defense, e4, d4, d5, e takes d5, c takes d5, and then d4. Knight f6. If black were to take the pawn instead of developing the knight, then white would just recapture with the bishop, developing a piece. e6, knight c3, bishop to d6, knight f3, knight f6, castle, castle, and then bishop to g5. And so this creates a pin on the f6 knight. Black's queen side is underdeveloped, and white is far ahead in development. As you can see, all of white's minor pieces have been developed, and white's only one move away from connecting his rooks. White's king is also very safe. So if black tried to defend the f6 knight by playing knight bd7, this would give black's queen a little bit more mobility, freedom to move around, but it would be at the expense of the light bishop here on c8, because now he has nowhere to go. So in the game, after knight f6, white played knight c3, knight c6, bishop to g5, and then queen b6. And so this is the first mistake black makes, developing the queen just too early with the hopes of attacking the weak b2 pawn. The game could have gone, instead of developing the queen, d takes on c4, bishop takes c4, developing a piece, and then if black really just wanted to simplify, queen takes d4, queen takes d4, and then knight takes d4. After castling kingside, attacking this knight, e5 defending, f4 going for a pawn break, trying to remove the defender of the d4 knight, bishop to g4 attacking the rook, which is attacking also the piece that's attacking the d4 knight, knight f3 blocking, bishop takes f3, g takes f3, and then black can simply castle queenside, adding a defender to his knight. In the game, however, black played queen b6, attacking the b2 pawn. White responded with c takes d5, and then another mistake, queen takes b2. White responded rook c1, knight b4. A better move would have been bishop to g4. Bishop to g4 would be attacking white's queen, so white would have to defend. Knight f3, bishop takes f3, g takes f3, and white's left with this kind of awkward pawn structure. He has two double pawns and two isolated pawns. Development for white does flow easier in this position. You know, this bishop can move here to h3, anywhere along this diagonal as well, and white can try and make something of this open c file, perhaps take control of the g file. Even has hopes of maybe undoubling their pawns after knight to e4. If knight recaptures, then he can undouble this pawn to the f file. So in this position, you know, black could play knight takes d5, knight takes d5, and then here we see again white has this open c file he can take advantage of, move over here, take advantage of the g file, even though not the best pawn structure. White is simply winning because of the ease in which white can develop, with which white can develop. And also, if black's not careful, this knight on d5 is threatening to fork the rook and the king. So black would have a lot of threats going on that they have to deal with here. So in the game, we're going to go back to the game. After knight to b4, knight a4, queen takes a2, and at this point black just put the nail in the coffin after white capitalizes with bishop to c4. Bishop to g4, one move late, attacking the queen. Knight f3, bishop takes, g takes, and then in this position actually black resigned because they were losing the queen and the game. The only way black might consider continuing is knight c2, check. After a queen takes, queens are exchanged, and despite having this still awkward pawn structure, white is still winning because not only is white one piece up in this game, but also his pieces have a lot of freedom to move around. You know, again, white has this nice open C file, can take advantage of this G file if he wanted to. The bishops are free to move as they please. So is this knight. And black may find some trouble when it comes to developing his dark squared bishop and trying to castle. So this position is just really winning for white. After rook takes c2, black has this weak pawn here on b7, so they might try to defend it with b6. Bishop to b5, check. Knight to d7. Rook to c7, just putting a lot of pressure on this knight. Rook d8, trying to defend. Taking the weak, or the hanging a7 pawn. f6, attacking the bishop. Bishop moves back. g5, and then simply bishop to c7, attacking the rook. The rook has to move, but now white has this deadly move. Bishop takes d7, check. King can capture on d7, and if that happens, then simply white responds with knight to b6, check, and then king has to move away, king e8, and then black is down a rook. And so in this position, the black would simply be lost and can resign. But all this goes to show way back here at move 6 for black that simple development would have been a better move. Instead of just trying to get greedy and take hanging pawns, it's important to focus on developing your minor pieces, getting them coordinated first before bringing out your queen. So I hope that you can learn from this video. Do you make this mistake in your own games? And if you do, have you been punished for them like Rudolf Spielmann was in his game? Until the next video, I wish you good luck in your chess, and bye for now.